Welcome children to SV Union High School and Junior College Pune. I am Deepa Fatke. We are going to continue part 2 of chapter Sports and History, Standard 10th History. So let's begin with the adventurous games. There are some adventurous games that need lot of balancing skills. Amongst them are ice skating, skiing, ice hockey, etc. Numerous competitions are held in sports. Olympics, Asian Games are also known as Asiad, then Paralympic or Special or Olympic for disabled people, then Cricket World Cup, as well as international competitions for other sports like hockey, wrestling, chess. All these are organized on a very large scale. Hockey and cricket are very popular in India. These sports are organized at local level, city, taluka, district, state level, as well as national and international levels. So these competitions give larger career opportunities and prospects. So today, if children you really wish, if you aim to go and choose for sports career, there are n number of career opportunities in sports, provided you build up your stamina and you consistently put in efforts in the same direction. Do you know children about Major Dhyan Chand? He was known as the Wizard of Hockey and he was also honored with the Padma Bhushan award in 1956. He was an expert hockey player under whose captainship Indian hockey team had won a gold medal in 1936. His birth date is celebrated as the National Sports Day in India. He had been a captain of Indian team in 1928 and 1932. Children, it's not possible for all of us to participate in the sports, but wherever it is possible for us, we should participate. See, winning doesn't matter. Participation is important. So, if we see from that point of view, we know that the whole world is very much fond of different games, sports. So, obviously there are sports fans, they are scattered all over the world. It affects the entire structure of sports economy. The number is more, the number of audience is more, obviously it has an effect on the entire structure of sports economy. So there are different purposes of watching sports. Now children watch because they want to know, they are fond of sports, they like watching these players playing on the ground, isn't it? But some simply watch these matches just for an entertainment. Whereas there are industrial and commercial companies, they look at these sports as opportunities to advertise their wear. Now you know that there are outfits for different games, like for football you will see different outfit, same way for playing cricket the wears are different. So there are number of sport equipments, and even career opportunities are there in sports. Like you can, if you have good orator skills, then you can become commentators. So all these are different reasons, different purposes for what people, children, young generation watch all these matches. Games, materials and toys. The means and equipments for the entertainment and education of children are called toys. You know that how small children are attracted towards toys. Same way, even for entertainment purpose, for educating the children, toys are very, very important. They are an important aspect. Archaeological excavation works have found out clay toys. We have learnt it when we were learning about Harappan civilization, children. So we know that the tradition of making toys, maybe they were wooden toys, they were clay toys, but the tradition of making these toys is very much originated, it can be traced back into the ancient times, which were at that point of time they were handmade or maybe they were made using molds. Dolls are mentioned in the ancient Indian literature. a Sanskrit play written by Shodrake named as Mritchakatika. Mritchakatika. It means a clay art. So you know that clay models, clay dolls, clay toys, these were made right in the ancient times, right from the ancient times, and we still have it as a tradition, as an Indian tradition. So even for entertainment purpose also these toys were used in those days. That is what we can make it out. Now, Katha Sarita Sagara has very interesting descriptions of games as well as toys like flying dolls. There is a mention of flying, dancing dolls on pressing the buttons, and some even used to make sounds. So you know that game materials and toys, they are originated right from the ancient times, and they are used for different purposes, maybe for giving imparting education, maybe for entertainment purpose. Toys and history, how they are interconnected to each other, we have learnt it in the last slide. In Maharashtra, forts are made during Diwali festival as a religious tradition in which the images of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, his Maratha soldiers, animals are placed. This enhances our interest understanding the importance of forts in the history of Maharashtra. An ivory doll made by Indian craftsmen found out in the excavation work of Pompeii, an ancient city in Italy, dated 1st century Common Era, shows having Indo-Roman trade relations. Toys found out in excavation work give us broad information about our past history. And based on this history, based on this source of information, uh, because toys are again, they are objects, they are material sources of learning history. Based on these material sources, toys, we can make out that our history is enriched with so many beautiful traditions. Let's study about how sports is interconnected with our literature and even entertainment like movies. Nowadays, you know, children, there's an ample of literature available in English on sports. Publishing books on sports, importance of sports, exercise, encyclopedias of sports is a newly developing enterprise. They used to have a sport magazine named Shatkar. There are even movies produced keeping sports personalities, their biographies in various languages. Mary Kom, Dangal, MS Dhoni, The Untold Story. So all these movies are basically been produced keeping the sport personality into view. So making a movie having sports at the center needs deep study, deep understanding about the particular period, understanding about the language, dressing style, and also social life. So, students of history are very well trained to do research work of this kind. And knowledge of history of sports is also very important for writing articles in various publications like encyclopedia, newspaper, sports magazines, etc. So this is the way children literature and movies on sports that are created, that are produced, definitely creates an impact, and even the students of history can be well trained to do the research work, and the one who wants to create something related to sports should have a lot of knowledge about the past events, the language, the lifestyle, the way of living, everything. That person should be very much acquainted with all these details related to the past history events. There are n number of professional opportunities in the field of sports, and there is a close relationship between sports and history, although they appear to be distant. In the field of journalism, student of history can get opportunities, writing articles, reviews about sports events like Olympics or Asiad or national and international matches. For matches, there is an opportunity for commentators where he needs to be mastered in the knowledge of history, statistics, previous records, eminent players' historical anecdotes, means related to his games, and knowledge of history is useful for them. So this is how children, history is interlinked with sports. If you want to make up your career into the field of sports, then you need to have the knowledge or skills of certain things. A student of history can make up his career into the field of sports. Now how is it possible? Writing articles, reviews about sports events, whenever Olympic games take place, or sports activities take place at the national international level. For these matches, there is always an opportunity to become a commentator. Who can become commentator? The one who is very much skillful, who has the skills in speaking. So the one who has speaking skills can become the commentator into the field of matches. Whenever matches take place, you can become a commentator. Same way, matches of various sports are shown on television on various channels. You must have observed it, children. Now here the role of professionals come, who track and maintain the records of these telecasts from different channels. Now it has become so important nowadays. So maintaining the records of all these matches with all their minute details, their telecasts, this also becomes very important. There are professional opportunities available in this field, children. The career as a referee. You see how referee handles on the actual field, on the ground. That is also an essential factor in sports. Trained referees are required to qualify examinations, and these qualified referees can work at various levels. You might have seen how do these coaches handle their players. Government and private sectors promote these sports. Scholarships are sponsored to sports person. You might have seen it also, and you might be aware about it. So some seats are also reserved for these sportsmen in the government and private establishments also. So you make up your career into the field of sports. You put in hard work, you create your own place into the sports field, and later on, after you complete your tenure or your career into the sports, then also you can get government seats. You can be government employee. Government welcomes you to be the part and parcel of their governance, isn't it? So whichever field you are from, whenever you make your career into the sports field, there are always employment opportunities that are sponsored by the government as well as private establishments. Do you know, children, whose this picture is of? Baji Pandit. Baji Pandit was the first Indian cricketer to pioneer cricket commentary. People used to listen very eagerly to his broadcasts from Akashvani. His well-studied commentaries were full of information about the history of the playground, career, history of the players, then anecdotes. What do you mean by anecdotes? Anecdotes are all those short but real stories. So anecdotes about the game and established records of the game. His commentaries used to be entertaining because of these historical details.